Hey, I got a couple of you guys. So, yeah. So, hi everybody. I am Quintus Jansen, and I am the owner of Dance Culture Studios, and I run World of Dance South Africa as well as a few other dance events. I've been quite involved with the dance industry directly as well as indirectly, and it's been a passion of mine just to take South African and African dancing to the world, as well as just to raise the standard of dancing in South Africa. And having said that, there are many factors that come into play when you think of raising the standard of dancing in South Africa. It's not just the standard and quality of the actual performance, it's the whole industry, it's the whole ecosystem where you can sustain dancers so that they have the time to pour into their craft, where they have enough sustenance and financial support so that they can make a living out of it. They can spend time harnessing and focusing on the main things, So I have friends in other industries, in the creative fields, music industries, slam poets, painters, etc. And it's an interesting thing. Before I really get into the talk, there are, in the music industry, for example, people always talk about you want to get that record deal, you want to sign that record deal, and so forth. And they never speak about why they want that record deal and what does it mean for them and what does it represent. And, a friend of mine moved to New York, having been offered a record deal, and got paid initially at the outset, before they've even touched the recording studio or anything like that. This person got flown to New York, paid a whole lot of money, said to them, the record label said to them, look here, this is your money up front for your upcoming record. Sort out your house, sort out your family, sort out everything you need to sort out. Once all the money and stuff is out of the way and you've sorted yourself out, right, now you can focus on creating music. That's why we signed you, because of your artistry, your creativity. And that's an interesting place to be, where you cannot focus about providing for yourself or creating multiple streams of income, etc., etc. You can focus on one thing and become really, really good at it. And that's really important as artists, So anyway, I'm going to speak about some things that you should know, but I'm going to say them for those that possibly don't know. So, business in the entertainment industry, especially as a dancer, right? First of all, you've heard that you need to consider yourself, one person, as a brand and as a business. I mean, there are millions of examples of that. If you think of golfers, Tiger Woods is a brand. If you think of tennis, a Venus Williams, a Serena Williams, a Lewis Hamilton is a brand. Yes, they are affiliated with other brands and so forth, but themselves are a brand. A Cristiano Ronaldo is a brand. He has to treat himself as a business. So you as an artist need to treat yourself as a business, as a brand. That means if you say something on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, live on TV, you are accountable for what you say, and it affects your brand. If you dress a certain way, if you treat people a certain way, everything affects your brand. And you need to think, what am I doing every single day to build my brand? Your WhatsApp statuses, your stories, everything is your brand. So I would suggest to you, from a branding perspective, decide what your brand represents. If it's professionalism, if it's fun, if it's happiness, whatever the case may be, decide what you represent. Keep your personal life private. Create a public profile, create a private profile. Keep your opinions very neutral, because as I said, if you're going to be growing into this professional brand, and you're going to be speaking to other brands to partner alongside. You say you're a dancer and you want to partner with Adidas, you want to partner with, I don't know, Mercedes-Benz, if you want to partner with Vodacom. Are they going to attach themselves? Because the first thing you do now when you find out about someone, or you want to align yourself with someone, or you meet someone, is you go on social media and you stalk them, and you get to know who they are from a public. What do they put out there? And what are they going to find when they look at that for you? When they start searching, who are you? Who is your brand? What do you represent? Is it a good thing? Will it align with theirs? Think about that before you do anything. So, first of all, it's a mindset. Think of yourself as a brand and as a business. The point that I wanted to mention, right, getting into my notes, is if you consider yourself a business, you need to decide what type of business you're going to be. So are you going to be a business that you want to grow and have other people alongside with you? Or are you going to grow yourself as a sole brand? So do you register a company? Or are you going to register yourself as a sole proprietor? Perhaps you're going to register yourself as a partnership. And that means that you need to go to the CIPC in South Africa and register yourself as a business and take the responsibility of taking yourself to another level. You need to open up an account that's separate from yourself. And if you are going to have a bank account that is not separate from the business self, then you need to submit your tax and all those things. I mean, if you look at now, we're in a lockdown period, and all the financial aid and all the business assistance and the relief funds and all that, for us artists, you need to have your tax in order, you need to submit bank statements, you need to have an address. All those things are relevant. And if you weren't organized and treated yourself as a business yet, this is the time to realize that I am actually not receiving financial help because I'm disorganized, because I haven't taken myself as seriously as I should. And I need to get my ducks in a row. So in moments like these, then you can take advantage of the help and the opportunity. So there is definitely a benefit to yourself as an artist to think of yourself as a business. That's my talk about today, right? Business and the arts and so forth. So register yourself with SARS and do your tax and be disciplined. Just as you take the time to rehearse, to train, to practice, to stretch, to gym, to eat properly. Just as you take the time to do that, you should take the time to sort out your finances. How are you going to be rich as an artist if you're not going to look after your money? If you don't look after your pennies, the pounds are not going to come. You can't be that guy that gets a record deal and living the champagne life and going on holiday and splurging on things that are not valuable, and then expect the money just to come to you. No. If you can't look after yourself earning 10,000 Rand a month, how are you going to look after yourself earning 100,000 Rand a month or more? So you need to think about that really long and hard. So register yourself as a business, do your taxes, and sort out all those kind of financial things. One thing that I've discovered with being involved and dealing with a lot of dancers is they do not have an invoicing system. That is bad. So they send a little Word document or whatever the case might be. There are so many free apps that you can download onto your phone that can create beautiful professional invoices. You can add your branding to it. You can add in your email address and all that kind of thing. You can link it to your bank statement, download your bank statement to the invoicing system, allocate your money. It really, it's a discipline, and it's something that you need to do. So create an invoicing system. And I've done 20 jobs this month, and I've invoiced for 20 jobs, and I should be expecting 20 payments. And that is something that you need to take care of. Create an invoicing system for yourself. From a business perspective, it's important, right? I mean, all the big companies that you complain about your money is going out to, they are sending you invoices because you need to settle them. Right. One thing that is not an accepted practice and prevalent practice as yet in the dance industry, but it is in other creative arts industries, singers, performance artists, painters, etc., is getting a deposit. So you get booked for a job. What you need to then stipulate, even if they don't send you an agreement, I mean, in the dance industry in this day and age, everything is still word of mouth. We trust each other, which is wonderful. We definitely need to trust each other. But, if someone says, can you book yourself for this date, and they don't get back to you, and they haven't confirmed this and that, get comfortable talking money. Get comfortable saying, hey man, you asked me to do the job. What does it entail? How many dance numbers are there? What are rehearsals like? How much am I getting paid? Right? And then can you give me, or my policy is 50% deposit. Of course, you need to then be there for all the rehearsals. You need to be there and hold up your side of the bargain. But if you're going to ask for 50% deposit, which I think you should, and it needs to become a standard in the dance industry, then you need to act professional, right? So insist on a deposit, and then insist on finding out what the fee is and what it entails, right? Oh yes, guys, everybody that's watching, hello. Please feel free to type questions, because I'm going to chat to you guys, and then I'm going to answer some questions that you might have. Okay, so right, so talking about how much is involved with a gig. So I'm talking about performers right now, but of course it involves teaching and things. It's just a mindset and a way you approach yourself, as opposed to just pertaining to performers, right? So you need to kind of say, at this stage in my career, I have this experience, I have this training, I have this qualification, I have this kind of value that I bring. Then you say to yourself, I'm worth X amount, right? Per hour, for example. I mean, per hour is not ideally, but in our industry, it's an accepted practice. It's norm, right? So I'm worth 500 Rand an hour as a figure. So now, if rehearsals are so many hours, and you say to yourself, okay, cool, it's dropping me with that amount of hours, it's dropping me to maybe 400 Rand an hour, I can live with that, because there's a certain amount of hours, so it's economies of scale. And then my hourly rate is this, my performance fee is this. So remember, performance fee involves traveling to a different venue, makeup for guys and girls, maybe tanning if you need to, stockings, shoes, all those kind of things need to be factored into your performance rate. And then you say, right, so if my general hourly rate is 500 Rand, I'm just throwing a figure out, right? And my performance fee is 2,000 Rand per performance. You need to then also think of, what does that performance entail? So if it's maybe 5 dance numbers of total performance of maybe 15 minutes of performance time. Maybe you'd say, right, if I've got 15 minutes of performance time, I need to then come out with 3,000 Rand for that day. For the whole day, for my daily rate, or 5,000 Rand, whatever is comfortable. I think as an industry, that's another thing we need to address. For those of us in solitary that are making notes, it's something that we definitely need to discuss at a later stage. Maybe just get an accepted rating scale. I know in like the my wife, who's chatting to you guys in the next couple of weeks, she's a copywriter and public speaker and so forth. There are accepted rates and recommended rates for copywriters, recommended rates for graphic designers, recommended rates for public speakers. So we need recommended rates for dancers and choreographers and so forth, so that we don't undercut and we don't sell ourselves short. And obviously, whatever we do impacts in the general industry as well. So yeah, we need to definitely have a payment scale for gigs. So I think, I mean, probably where I'm at depends on the level that you are in your performance career or teaching career. You need to work out your time. If it's 10 hours of rehearsals at 200 rand, you're getting 2,000 rand for rehearsals, and you're getting 2,000 rand to perform two numbers. That might be decent, you know. But you need to understand what value you bring. And if someone says, you know what, I've got 1,000 rand, but it's a whole week of rehearsals and performance, then you might say no, because at least then you understand your value and what they're offering you. Hi, Lily. Those rates are not publicly available. What I was saying is the rates regarding how much performers should charge or teachers should charge is something that we as an industry need to discuss, and probably have a website or a Facebook page that we could post it on. Possibly, let's look at it, Solitary. I'll chat to the people who are organizing, and we can maybe just put some accepted guidelines on the page within the next couple of days, so that you have an idea. And I do feel that if you're a 21-year-old, you've just come out of college, and you've had training and so forth, you cannot expect to be paid the same as someone who's 28 years old and has, 10 years performance experience. So I understand there's a certain job that you need to do, and fresh dancers who are 18 out of school doing jobs are getting paid the same as people with 10 years experience who are 28 years old. But the thing is, they don't add the same value. The older dancers, the more experienced dancers are teaching the younger dancers. They are showing them how quick changes work. They're showing them how to plan and prepare, how you navigate yourself on stage, how to work with, say, possibly singers and musicians and things. They don't add the same value, so they shouldn't get paid the same. So that's, I'm saying, there should be a scale that you can then decide for yourself how much you're willing to accept to do certain jobs and gigs and so forth. Okay, where are we? How do you start getting jobs and opportunities as a young dancer? Also, how do you estimate your rate, and what factors do you consider to not sell yourself short? Right, how you start getting jobs. Right, South Africa is not as developed as, say, America, right, where they post auditions online and you go to the auditions, and then, the best dancer wins, or the best look for that job, or whatever the case might be. In South Africa, it is largely relationship based. Yes, there are choreographers that have open auditions and so forth, but generally you need to build a relationship or relationships with different choreographers. Sending a CV and a show reel is part of it, but it's definitely not going to get you the job. I've had many dancers with great CVs, and they studied this and have experience and trained in this and that, and then you ask them to do my choreography and they can't do it. So auditions are important to be able to show that you can actually show the work of the choreographer. And then dancers in South Africa, you guys look out for each other. That's what I love about South Africa. Dancers refer dancers. So you'd find a dancer performing for a choreographer, and the choreographer says, you know what, I need 2 dancers who are proficient in hip-hop and contemporary next week for a gig. And I'm like, hey, can you call this one? And here's another number, I can recommend this one. And then that's how it works. So build up your network. I think we spoke about relationships a while back. That's important. Build up relationships with people, man. In South Africa, that's how you're going to get work as a dancer, right? Touch base and connect with existing dancers and prove that you're reliable. Dancing is one aspect. You need to treat yourself as a business. Your dance ability and dance training is one aspect. What you need to consider is, are you punctual? Are you early so you can warm up? Do you know the stage? Do you have the right shoes? What does the choreographer need from you? Those are all important things. Don't be irritating. Focus. Don't go for extra long smoke breaks if you're smoking. All those things are important. Act professional, and that's how you're going to start getting jobs and keep people coming back to you and asking you to do more jobs for them. Right. Regarding my rate, so I don't perform anymore. But if I were to be asked to perform, I'd say, right, how much time is it going to take? Right, my rate is 1,000 Rand an hour. It's going to take me 10 hours to rehearse this thing. I'm going to need some costumes, and is it factored in, or is the client going to pay for that? And then my performance fee is maybe 5,000 Rand. So cool. For me to do a show, it's going to cost the client 15,000 Rand, including choreography and all that. But that's, for example, like just one way to look at how you can cost yourself. And then, like in any industry, you need to negotiate. So you need to be able to say, okay, I've been working for this person a lot, and I've been booked for 5 gigs this month, so I can lower my rate. That's just something you need to continue discussing. But what I would say to you is, don't be afraid to talk about money. Ask. And then, the other thing that I made a note about is ask when you're going to get paid. Ask what the payment terms are, or set payment terms. If you need to submit your invoice before the time, because the payment's going to be taking 30 days. But now if you submit the invoice a week after the actual gig, and it's 30 days from the end of that month, you could submit it today, and then it's only submitted to the company by the end of April and get paid end of May. You don't want to be in that situation. So what you do is at the outset say, what are the payment terms? Right. Can I send you my invoice? Can you give me the details? I'll send you my invoice. There you go. Now you have it. And they would then sort it out quickly. You know what I mean? So that's definitely how you would value yourself, and that's how you would get more work, and that's how you would rate your payment. Payment value. Hi Tiffany. Hi Jamie Lee. So does anybody have questions? No? Okay. Right. So one of the business things in the dance industry in South Africa. So when I had to send a proposal and pitch against a few other people in South Africa to get the World of Dance license for South Africa, I had to compile a list and submit content of top South African choreographers, top South African dance crews, top South African dancers, etc., etc. And I found it really difficult. There is very little good quality content of dancers in South Africa. It's gotten better over the past, say, 3 years or so, with certain competitions being filmed and then those videos being posted online. But a very small amount of dancers are creating good quality content of themselves and their creativity, and then making that available online. You can't discover them. And you can't just limit yourself to one platform. From a business perspective, you need to be discoverable. Okay? So you're going to put videos on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Vimeo, on Facebook. Be discoverable on Twitter and engage with people. So you need to be discoverable. Put those things on there so that I can find you. If I'm looking for dancers and someone says to me, contact Siobhan Pinar, I should be able to Google you, find links to your website or your profile or your LinkedIn page, be able to go on YouTube and find you and say, wow, I like the look, I like what you do, I like your style, I like your experience. Or I see potential in you, even if you're just from the studio, I can see potential in you. And then, proactively do that instead of you're getting a briefing, looking for dancers who can do this, and you're trying to throw something together in your garage or in the studio quickly or whatever. Be proactive, create good quality content, and present yourself and sell yourself as a brand and as a business. And South Africa, that is the way we need to go to, because as I struggle to do that for World of Dance and submit to them, I'm hoping that things will change now. And then you need to be adaptable, and you need to be proactively creating the future. So what is the South African dance industry going to look like in 3 years' time? What type of art will be consumed with this corona thing? Is it going to be online content? Is it going to be are studios going to be having to run the same? We're going to have online as well as live classes. I teach a lot of couple dancing. Will that be fine? Because people need to touch each other then. So those are all things you need to consider, and then proactively create that. And then collaboration is the key, guys. I've had this vision for, like, dance culture is part of creative culture, and part of our vision statement is collaboration. And collaboration is like, I'm bringing this to the table, you're bringing this. Hey man, you've got a great camera, you've got a great eye for videography, I can dance. Hey, you got a studio, let's create something together. We all have content, we can show off our stuff, and then we get to be seen, we get to be selling ourselves and our skills, and that's the future of the dancing in South Africa. And if you create more content, think about it. Now you're open up to a whole new world. You're opened up to an international audience. Someone in the middle of nowhere, or say down under in Australia, might be like, whoa, I want to bring some South African dancing to Australia. And then they look for South African or African dancers, and are they going to find you? If they look for great hip-hop dancers in Mpumalanga or in Bloemfontein or Cape Town or PE, are they going to find you? Are you using the right hashtags? Are you using SEO on all your posts? And Google it if you don't know what SEO is, search engine optimization. If people are searching for certain things, are they going to find you? Don't be shy. Hashtag best dancer, hashtag hip hop dancer, hip hop dance in South Africa, whatever the case might be. Hashtag the stuff, because people are going to search those things and they need to find you. But you can't be a one-hit wonder. You need to be able to back it up. Just as you have discipline, where you go into the studio and you train and you stretch and you go to gym and you get fit and strong and healthy, just as you're disciplined in that, you need to be disciplined in treating yourself as a business and as a professional. And that doesn't mean that this is your profession. Like, you could be a student and you could be an engineer and dancing part-time, or you could be studying through UNISA or through Varsity College and studying part-time, but you're dancing to earn money. You are still a professional, because you are in a professional field, working with professional choreographers, professional producers, professional musicians, whatever the case might be. So you need to act professionally, whether you consider yourself that or not. So if you don't do those things, and you have to, people can hype up as well. So if you hype up yourself and you like best dancer in South Africa and best this and pioneer in this and whatever, then you need to be able to back it up to create longevity, because people are going to use you once and be like, they didn't deliver, and they're not going to use you again. You treat people with disrespect, they're not going to work with you again. So you need to think of all those kind of things as you go on this journey of dance. All of you guys that are here, can you tell me if you have any questions? Because I think I have like 1 or 2 minutes left. Am I right? Yes, I think so. So if you have any questions regarding the industry. So just to recap, go into CIPC and register yourself as a business. Alternatively, go into SARS and just register yourself as a sole proprietor and do your taxes so that you can have access to opportunities. And of course, if you're earning under a certain amount, you don't pay tax, but you just need to be in the system, okay? Understand your value so that you can ask the questions up front. Ask about money, talk about money. It is not taboo. Ask, how much am I getting paid? When am I getting paid? What do I need to do so I can get paid on time? All those kind of things. And then build up the relationships where you can submit to people what you're doing. That's how you build a relationship. And say like, hey man, I did this cool gig where I wore this and did this and I flew off the top of this, and then and you just send it out to people and you touch base. Show that you care about them and tell them what you're doing. Jason, you can send a message directly on the page. You can DM on the Facebook page, and they'll definitely get you involved with Solitary. So I think the admins are seeing your post, so they'll probably DM you as well. Right. Yeah, definitely. Who is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Daniel Barry or Daniel Barry? Suggestion for bookings: after discussing and agreeing on rates, requirements, etc., confirm everything in writing. Definitely. If they are not going to give you a booking sheet or a contract to sign, you have one and you send it to the choreographer, to the production company, to the agency. You send one with your terms and conditions. Because how many times have you come to a gig and they haven't got change rooms for us dancers, and you have to stand outside in the freezing cold because they don't think of us and respect us. So if you have a list of requirements that are the bare minimum that you would accept this job or accept to take on the job, then have that and send it to them and ask them to sign it before you start. And as I said to you, get 50% deposit, because that will cover your back. They've made a commitment to you, and you've made a commitment to them. Terms, conditions, payment dates, yeah. So that's it, guys. I think Solitary is going to put my details on the page and on the websites and Instagram pages and so forth. You're welcome to get in touch with me directly. I am very passionate about the dance industry. I have invested a number of years and a lot of my personal time, a lot of my personal money. Running competitions, guys, you think that we make a lot of money and that is all glitz and glam, but we actually invest into the dance industry a lot more through dance competitions and platforms than what we make. So I have a passion for it, and I'd be willing to mentor, I'd be willing to advise, I'll be willing to discuss certain things and lead you in the right direction, and that's what I'd love to do for the industry. So please drop me a DM or touch base. I'd like to get to know some of you. A lot of the names I'm not too familiar with. I've been in the industry a while, not as young as some of you. So yeah, thanks Auntie A, sorry. Thanks Daniel, Siobhan, Jason. Appreciate you guys, appreciate your time, and God bless.